A storm gathers over the desolate hills of northern China, where the Great Wall snakes through the fog like a slumbering dragon. In the valley below, a team of archaeologists works in silence, their tools clicking against ancient soil. The lead researcher pauses. Her brush uncovers something cold and metallic. The rain thickens and thunder rolls as the outline of a sealed passage begins to emerge. The air feels older here, heavier. It is not just the weight of stone, but the weight of untold history, pressing upward from beneath the ground. For centuries, people have walked above this buried world, never knowing the truth that waited in silence. Tonight, the earth itself seems to whisper. What secrets were left behind beneath the wall that was meant to protect a nation? By morning, the storm has passed, leaving behind a landscape soaked in silence. The team stands over the site, studying the newly uncovered passageway. The air drifting from within is dry and stale, untouched for centuries. They sense that this is not a mere storage tunnel. It was built with intention, sealed with care. Legends once spoke of the emperor's hidden chambers, of workers entombed alive to keep his secrets. As the first rays of sunlight fall across the entrance, time itself seems to pause, holding its breath. They lower the first camera into the passage, its lens capturing shadows dancing across rough-hewn walls. The air temperature drops sharply. A faint echo, rhythmic, hollow, pulses from somewhere deeper inside. The team exchanges uneasy glances. Every movement feels like a trespass, as though the past is aware of their intrusion. What they find inside will change how history remembers the Great Wall forever. Far beneath the surface, the camera stops before a sealed stone door. Its carvings tell a story of men who built in silence and kings who buried their sins. Daniel Hayes recognizes the language of fear, warnings etched not for enemies, but for those who came after. He turns to Lai Wen, and for a moment, neither speaks. The weight of 2,000 years presses down on their shoulders. That night, Li Wen sits alone by the excavation tent, her mind replaying the carvings. The wind hums softly through the stones above. She feels as though something beneath her feet is stirring, something that waited for her. In the darkness of the pit, unseen by anyone, the faint sound of shifting earth echoes once again. The past is awakening, and the wall, silent for millennia, is ready to speak. As Li Wen studies the carvings through the night, exhaustion overtakes her, and sleep drags her backward through time. The sound of wind becomes the sound of hammers. In her dream, the mountains are alive with labor, thousands of workers dragging stones under a sun that never shows mercy. The wall is new, a jagged scar of ambition. Overseers shout commands, their voices drowned by the grinding of rock and bone. In this vision, the living and the dead move together, bound by the same silence that still clings to the Great Wall's foundations. It is here that the truth begins to surface. Days blur into years. The men build, sleep, and die beneath the same stones. The Emperor's command echoes through the valleys. No rest, no retreat. Among the workers, whispers grow of a secret order. That certain tunnels beneath the wall were not for defense, but for concealment. The mountain is swallowing its builders. Is swallowing its builders. In the Emperor's encampment, scribes record the cost in lives with dry hands and hollow eyes. The wall stretches farther each day, yet the fear among the men deepens. Liu Sheng finds fragments of pottery buried near the base of the wall, inscribed with prayers for forgiveness. He buries one of his own, not knowing it will outlast empires. The earth beneath him is heavy with sorrow and secrets. Night falls over the unfinished wall. Torches flicker, casting monstrous shadows. Soldiers patrol the camps to silence any talk of rebellion. Liu Sheng overhears two guards speaking of the Emperor's vault, a chamber sealed before dawn, deep beneath the wall's foundation. When one of the guards notices him listening, he is seized, dragged toward the dark pit he helped create. The punishment for knowing too much is to become part of the wall itself. By dawn, the pit is sealed. Above it, new layers of stone are laid without pause. The other workers never speak his name again, though some secretly bow when passing that section of wall. Centuries later, archaeologists will uncover traces of this burial, human bones interwoven with the foundation itself. In her tent, Lai Wen wakes with tears on her face. Her dream was not imagination. It was memory. One the earth has carried for 2,000 years. The morning after her vision, Li Wen orders a cautious descent into the tunnel. The air is dry, dense with dust and the faint scent of metal. Their lanterns barely pierce the dark, revealing carvings that tell of an emperor's vow, not to defend the land, but to conquer death. Hayes translates as they move, his voice trembling. These were not defenses. They were foundations for eternity. The deeper they go, the more the carvings twist into scenes of sacrifice and silence. A chill runs through them all. History is breathing again. In the darkness, the carvings give way to a sealed doorway marked by bronze studs shaped like staring eyes. Hayes traces the inscriptions and translates aloud. Those who disturb the emperor's silence awaken his army. The words echo against the stone like a warning. Behind the door lies the truth Liu Sheng, and thousands of others died to conceal. Li Wen hesitates. For 2,000 years, no one has opened this place. Until now. The story shifts once more to the past. Emperor Qin sits upon his portable throne atop the unfinished wall, wrapped in furs despite the summer heat. His alchemists promise him immortality. His generals promise him eternal victory. But deep beneath his feet, tunnels are sealed with human offerings. The emperors attempt to bind his spirit to the wall itself. Liu Sheng's sacrifice was not an accident. It was a ritual to protect the empire forever. The emperor buried life within the wall. Back in the present, the team pries open the ancient seal. A gust of dry air rushes out, carrying the scent of time itself. Inside the chamber lie skeletal remains arranged in circular formation. Not of warriors, but of workers. Bronze tablets hanging from their necks, each engraved with a name. Li Wen lifts one gently, whispering the inscription. Liu Sheng, servant of the wall. The realization strikes they have uncovered not a tomb of rulers, but a grave of those who built eternity and were erased from it. Night falls as the team seals the chamber once more. Outside, under the moonlit wall, Li Wen sits in silence beside Daniel Hayes. He murmurs that some walls were never meant to keep enemies out, but truth's in. The wind carries a distant hum, the echo of chants once sung by the builders. Somewhere beneath their feet, the souls of the forgotten seem finally at peace. The wall remains unchanged, but those who listen can now hear what lies beneath. News of the discovery spreads rapidly. The site becomes a guarded zone under government supervision. Reporters gather at the mountain base demanding access, but Li Wen's focus never wavers. Every night she replays the images of the chamber, the names, the arrangement, the unspoken pattern. Something about the positioning of the bones suggests purpose, as if the dead were not merely buried but placed in a design meant to last forever. Daniel warns her to rest, but the silence of the chamber haunts her dreams. That night, a new storm approaches. The thunder sounds like footsteps from below. Inside her tent, Li Wen studies photographs of the bones and notices a circular pattern centered on a missing piece, a cavity in the floor of the chamber. She suspects another chamber beneath it. Meanwhile, Hayes dreams of Emperor Qin commanding alchemists to seal his heart beneath the wall, guarded by the souls of his builders. Their two visions converge, as if the past itself is calling them back underground. The flashback returns. The Emperor's court gathers under a blood-red sunset. His chief alchemist proclaims that the elixir of life has failed, but the Emperor smiles. He declares that his spirit will live on not through potion, but through stone. The wall, he says, will breathe for him, dream for him, and protect his empire even in death. That night, the emperor orders the burial of the heart chamber, a secret crypt containing his essence, guarded by the sealed bodies of his laborers. In the present, Li Wen and Hayes return to the chamber, lowering ground-penetrating scanners into the center of the circle. The device detects a hollow cavity several meters below. The readings show metallic traces and something else, faint but rhythmic, like a pulse. The team exchanges uncertain glances. Li Wen whispers that the Emperor's heart might still be there, not in blood but in mercury, the same poison he once believed would make him immortal. As the storm breaks, the team prepares to drill. The wind howls through the valleys like ancient voices warning them away. Li Wen hesitates before giving the order. For a moment, she hears something. A low hum, deep and constant, rising from the stone itself. Hayes places a hand on her shoulder, whispering that history demands to be heard. The drill begins to turn, and with it, the ground trembles softly. The wall above them groans as if waking from a long, uneasy sleep. The drill breaks through stone with a hollow crack that echoes through the tunnels. Dust rises like smoke, revealing a narrow shaft leading deeper underground. A faint metallic scent escapes, sharp and ancient. Li Wen peers into the darkness, her flashlight trembling in her hand. The air feels wrong, charged with something alive yet lifeless. Hayes mutters that they found the Emperor's vault. No one moves for a moment. The silence is deafening, as if the wall itself is waiting for what comes next. The flashback begins, the final night of Emperor Qin's reign. The Emperor descends into the hidden chamber beneath the wall, accompanied by his most loyal guards and the alchemist Wei Yun. Inside, pools of mercury glimmer in bronze basins, reflecting torchlight like liquid mirrors. He orders the entrance sealed once he enters, declaring that his soul will merge with the Great Wall and rule for eternity. The guards obey, tears streaking their faces as the chamber is closed forever. Back in the present, Li Wen's team lowers a camera through the shaft. The feed flickers, revealing a massive circular chamber glinting faintly with silvery reflections. Inside are ancient bronze vessels, statues of armored soldiers, and streams of liquid metal flowing across the floor. The readings confirm it. Mercury, still preserved after 2 millennia. The Emperor's alchemic legacy endures, toxic and beautiful. Hayes whispers that they've uncovered the Emperor's heart, not of flesh, but of poison. Hayes and Li Wen argue whether to open the lower chamber. She insists it must remain sealed. The air, the mercury, the curse of history all feel untouchable. But the government officials overseeing the dig demand proof. That night, when the team sleeps, Hayes returns alone. Driven by obsession, he lowers himself into the shaft. The screen shakes as his flashlight catches the shimmering pools and walls carved with thousands of names. The souls sacrificed to protect this place. His voice echoes once before the signal cuts. By morning, Li Wen wakes to the sound of alarms. Hayes's rope hangs slack into the pit. When they pull it up, it is empty and soaked with liquid metal. She peers into the shaft, calling his name, but hears only an echo. Not his voice, but a whisper rising from below. The same chant the workers once sang. The wall groans again. A low, living sound that rolls across the valley. Somewhere in its depths, a new silence settles, the kind that buries both truth and those who seek it. The excavation site lies in chaos. Tents collapse under heavy wind, and the mountain trembles as if exhaling after centuries of silence. Li Wen orders the team to retreat, but her voice is lost beneath the rumble of shifting stone. Through the haze, the wall's shadow stretches longer than before, as though it is alive. She feels the vibration beneath her boots, a rhythm, faint yet steady, like a heartbeat echoing through the ground. The Emperor's chamber has awakened, and the earth remembers its dead. In the chaos, Li Wen stumbles upon Hei's notebook, half buried in the mud. Its pages are soaked, but one entry remains legible. A sketch of the mercury pools forming a heart beneath the wall, surrounded by ancient symbols for eternity and blood. The final line reads, "It's breathing." She realizes Hayes may not have died. He may have been claimed by what he sought. The wall's hum grows louder, and the ground beneath the chamber begins to glow faintly, as if alive with unseen fire. A flashback rises from the depths of time. Emperor Qing's alchemist Wei Yun kneels in the heart chamber after sealing his master inside. The mercury fumes thicken, and he chants softly, binding the emperor's essence to the wall. Outside, thunder shakes the mountain. The alchemist coughs, blood spilling down his chin as he finishes the final words. May his heart guard the empire, and may silence guard his heart. Then the last torch burns out, leaving the chamber in eternal night. Back in the present, Li Wen refuses to abandon the site. She believes Hei's body or soul may still be inside. Against all orders, she lowers herself into the shaft. The air thickens with the metallic scent of mercury, and her flashlight flickers. The carvings glow faintly, as if alive. Then she sees them. The shadows of ancient workers standing motionless around her, their hollow eyes filled with sorrow. They are not haunting her. They are waiting to be remembered. At the base of the shaft, Li Wen finds a pool of still mercury reflecting her face, and another beside it. Daniel Hayes stands across from her in the reflection, his expression calm, eyes shimmering like molten metal. His voice is soft, carried by the echo of the chamber. He says the wall was never meant to protect China from enemies. It was built to protect the world from what lies beneath. The reflection ripples, and Hayes fades. The hum deepens once more, then fades into stillness. The Emperor's heart, at last, is quiet. Dawn breaks over the northern mountains. The storm has passed, leaving the land washed clean and silent. Li Wen emerges from the shaft, her hands trembling and eyes distant, as if she has walked out of another time. The team rushes to her, but she says nothing. Behind her, the entrance to the tunnel collapses under the weight of falling stone, sealing itself once more. The wall stands untouched, as if nothing ever happened. But Li Wen knows. The wall has remembered its dead. In Beijing, the government restricts all information about the find. Li Wen's report is confiscated, the site classified, and the official statement claims no discovery was made. Yet at night, she rewrites everything from memory, not for fame or glory, but to honor those buried within the stones. Her words are not scientific notes. They are prayers, written for voices that history chose to forget. She writes until dawn, until her hands ache, knowing her truth may never be read. Far beneath the Great Wall, the chamber lies in silence. The mercury pools shimmer faintly in the darkness, untouched by time. For a brief moment, faint echoes of chanting rise and fade. The workers' song, carried by the shifting earth. Among them stands Lu Sheng, the young laborer who once dreamed of freedom. He looks toward the surface where the wall meets the dawn. His eyes close, and at last he smiles. The forgotten have been heard. Weeks later, Li Wen returns to the wall alone. She walks its high ridges, where wind hums softly through the cracks between stones. In her hands, she carries a bronze tablet, the one bearing Lu Sheng's name. She kneels and places it into a crevice, whispering his name once more. The wind stills for a moment, as though listening. Then, gently, it carries her whisper away across the mountains, mingling it with the voices of the past. As the sun sets, the wall glows golden against the horizon, stretching endlessly toward the fading light. To the world, it remains a monument of defense, stone, strength, and history. But to Li Wen, it is something else, a living memory, built not from power, but from sacrifice. Beneath every stone lies a name, a breath, a story. The wall does not guard the empire anymore. It guards the truth. And when the wind moves across its peaks, it still whispers, "We are here."